President Biden says the U.S. will reach his goal of administering 100 million coronavirus vaccines by the end of this week. That is several weeks ahead of schedule. More than 12% of the population is now fully vaccinated, and more than 75 million people have received at least one dose. Meanwhile, more than a dozen states are reporting a surge in infections. Total cases in the U.S. now stand at more than 29.6 million. More than 538,000 lives have been lost. Nikki Battiste reports from New York City.
Tonight, it's a race between the virus and vaccines. New COVID hotspots starting to spike as pandemic restrictions relax.
If we pull back prematurely, we may trigger another surge.
15 states reporting a rapid increase in new cases in the past week. Michigan leads the nation.
We are in the fourth quarter of this fight against the vaccine. It's not over yet. It is no time to spike the football.
In New York and New Jersey, the rate of new cases is at least double the national average. A variant first detected in New York City may be to blame.
Beware the Ides of March.
Dr. Peter Hotez predicted last month variants would become problematic, especially the one first detected in the UK.
The reason I said that was because of the B117 variant. And so now we're in a race. It's a race to see if we can vaccinate ahead of the B117 variant before it sweeps through the country.
Who's winning this race at the moment, the vaccine or the virus?
Well, I think we're neck and neck at this point.
And tonight, the European Union's drug regulator says the AstraZeneca vaccine is safe and effective. This comes after more than a dozen countries stopped using it over fears of blood clots. It still needs authorization in the U.S. Today, the White House saying it would send millions of AstraZeneca doses to Mexico and Canada, saying it was crucial to ending the pandemic. Even with the increasing number of vaccinations, health officials are still urging the public to wear masks. That led to a contentious exchange on Capitol Hill today between Dr. Anthony Fauci and Senator Rand Paul.
You want to get rid of vaccine hesitancy? Tell them they can quit wearing their mask after they get the vaccine.
Well, let me just state for the record that masks are not theater. Masks are protective.
Tonight, CBS News has learned the CDC is planning to revise its 6-foot social distancing guidance down to 3 feet in schools tomorrow. And the New York State Health Department tells us the Javits Center here behind me will start to vaccinate people around the clock again once supply increases. Elaine?
Nikki Battiste, thank you. Dr. Len Horovitz joins me now. He's a pulmonary specialist at Lenox Hill Hospital. Doctor, welcome. Thanks very much for being with us. The U.S. is planning to send millions of AstraZeneca vaccine doses to Mexico and Canada. Why is this important to our fight here in the U.S.?
What we have to understand about viruses is that they don't respect borders. And certainly if there is a country that's contiguous with the United States, which Canada and Mexico are, if we don't control the virus in those countries, it will cross the border easily and we'll have a problem in the United States. So it's very important to control and vaccinate contiguous countries. And of course, in a global pandemic, the whole world has to be vaccinated or we'll have a problem ultimately.
Well, the pace of vaccinations is picking up. More states are expanding vaccine eligibility, and President Biden says the nation will meet his goal of 100 million shots since his inauguration by the end of this week. Do you believe that will essentially gain the upper hand on this virus soon? And what still needs to happen for us to get to that point?
We need to reach herd immunity, of course, to gain the upper hand against the virus. We're currently vaccinating 2.5 to almost 3 million people a day. That's still a lot of people. 24% of people in New York State have been vaccinated. That's pretty much par for the course of states around New York State. That said, we are still seeing variants. We're seeing surges in 13 states. And so to gain the upper hand, we have to have 70 to 85% of people with antibodies, immunity, whether through natural infection or vaccination. We still have a long way to go.
Well, in recent weeks, we've heard experts voice concerns about another possible surge as states ease restrictions. Given the pace of vaccinations, is this a real threat?
There are 13 states that are experiencing an uptick in cases, Michigan being a 64% increase in cases. That's worrisome. It is certainly not a time to eschew the public recommendations, public health recommendations of masking, social distancing, hand washing. While we vaccinate, we still have to observe those cardinal public health rules, or we won't have the upper hand.
All right, Dr. Len Horovitz. Doctor, thank you very much.
Thank you.